This one's for my The Bible Speaks with One Voice friends. Unfortunately, that one voice frequently tells two different stories. Welcome back to Pesky Passages, where your favorite doctrines face serious challenges and we learn to ask better questions along the way. Let's read one story told two different times and see if you can spot the difference. In 2 Samuel 24, it reads, "Again the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he incited David against them, saying, 'Go count the people of Israel and Judah.'" In 1 Chronicles 21, it says Satan stood up against Israel and incited David to count the people of Israel. Check out my next video for the full reading and context. These aren't two different stories. They're two tellings of the same story with two completely different explanations for what happened. In 2 Samuel, it's God who incites David to take a census. In 1 Chronicles, it's Satan. The chronicler is retelling an already existing story, line by line, but they have intentionally changed the divine agent in the scene. That shift isn't just a narrative, it's theological, and it leaves us with a problem. So what do we do with this? The only way to avoid calling it a contradiction is to suggest that God and Satan were somehow working together. Either Satan was carrying out God's will, or God was using Satan to bring about divine judgment. But if that's your solution, you've just created a whole new problem. What emerges is a God who commands the act, condemns the response, and then reassigns responsibility. It's hard to reconcile that with any theology built on fairness, justice, or trust. It doesn't resolve the tension. It only deepens it. So why would one biblical author say God did it, and another would say Satan did it? What might have changed in the time between these two versions that would have the authors shift the blame? Is it possible that later writers were trying to protect God's image? If biblical authors did in fact reinterpret these sacred stories, should we expect the Bible to speak with one voice? What does it say about inspiration if the Bible is correcting itself? Are we allowed to name those changes, or are we too fearful of what that might mean? The Bible often tells one story multiple times, sometimes in tension, sometimes in flat-out contradiction. Reading it well means reading it wisely. If that makes you more curious than afraid, you're in the right place. Come along. You're welcome here.